Can one man change the destiny of a sport? The story of Sergio Oliva, known in the bodybuilding world as the Myth, is one of those rare stories that seems straight out of a legend. His rise from humble Guanabacoa, Cuba, to the top of world bodybuilding not only redefines what is possible in sports, but also captures the essence of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable adversity. Hello, this is a new video from Bodybuilding World, and this is the story and sad end of Sergio Oliva. Let's get started. Born on July 4th, 1941, Oliva not only stood out for his unprecedented physique, but also for his fascinating and challenging life story. Sergio Oliva was born into a poor family in Guanabacoa, a municipality in Havana, Cuba. From a young age, Sergio showed a natural interest in sports, which would be a constant throughout his life. In his youth, he worked in various physical labors that contributed to his initial muscular development. Still, Oliva did not start out directly in bodybuilding, as his first sport was weightlifting. His exceptional physical abilities caught the attention of Cuban coaches, who included him in the national weightlifting team. Oliva's sporting career took a crucial turn during the 1962 Pan American Weightlifting Games in Kingston, Jamaica. Sergio was part of the Cuban team, representing his country on an international stage. During these games, he found himself in a unique position to observe the differences between his life in Cuba under the communist regime and the possibilities offered by the outside world. In 1962, Oliva placed second in the Cuban National Weightlifting Championships, which put him in the Central American Games in Kingston, Jamaica. As soon as Castro's guards gave him the chance, Sergio ran to the U.S. consulate with the entire Cuban weightlifting team. They all asked for asylum and were granted their freedom. He never returned to Cuba. The decision to defect from Cuba was both personal and political. Sergio had experienced the restrictions and limitations of life under Fidel Castro's rule and saw the Pan American Games as a unique opportunity to escape. The night before his competition, Oliva made the decision not to return to Cuba. In leaving Cuba, Oliva left his family and friends behind, with the very real possibility of never seeing them again. After being granted asylum in the United States, Sergio Oliva moved to Chicago, a city with a vibrant bodybuilding community and a place where many immigrants found a new beginning. There he began working at a local foundry, which was physically demanding and complemented his training regimen. Although his job was demanding, he put in as many hours as he could at the gym, where he quickly began to stand out for his strength and exceptional physique. The former weightlifting champion wasted no time, and soon outmuscled his peers both in the gym and on the platform. Within 4 years, he was Mr. Olympia. Sergio broke the racial barrier that permeated the early years of bodybuilding. He was the first non-white bodybuilder to win the IFBB, Mr. Olympia, Mr. America, Mr. World, and Mr. Universe. In 1967, Sergio competed in his first Mr. Olympia, where his impressive physique led him to win the title. Beating out established bodybuilders, Sergio successfully defended his title in 1968 and 1969, becoming one of the few athletes to have won this title 3 times in a row. These victories not only cemented his status as one of the best bodybuilders of his time, but also challenged previous notions about the limits of muscle development and body aesthetics in bodybuilding. Oliva was known for his incredible V-shaped physique, with a narrow waist and very broad shoulders, setting a new ideal in the physique of a bodybuilder. His rivalry with Schwarzenegger is compared by many to that between Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier in boxing. I always prepared myself to beat the best rivals like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Dave Draper, Chuck Sipes, and Harold Poole, and I beat them, Oliva once said in an interview with this newspaper. The rivalry between Sergio Oliva and Arnold Schwarzenegger in the world of bodybuilding is one of the most celebrated and dramatic in the history of the sport. It all began when Arnold, then a young Austrian bodybuilder newly arrived in the United States, faced Oliva, already established as a champion, at the 1969 Mr. Olympia. The 1969 Mr. Olympia was a pivotal event, not only in the careers of both bodybuilders, but also in the history of bodybuilding. Oliva came in as the defending champion, having won the title in 1967 and 1968 and was the clear favorite. Arnold, for his part, had recently won Mr. Universe. But facing Oliva represented a challenge of another level. In competition, Oliva impressed with his iconic physique, which featured a combination of muscle mass, symmetry, and a narrowness at the waist that was rarely seen. However, Arnold also brought an impressive physique, and his charisma and determination were palpable. Although Oliva retained his title in 1969, the competition was fierce and marked the beginning of an intense rivalry. The 1970 Mr. Olympia generated even more anticipation. Arnold had spent the year training intensely, determined to dethrone Oliva. This event is often cited as one of the most intense and exciting moments in professional bodybuilding. During the competition, both athletes showed significant improvements in their physiques, but it was Arnold's increase in muscle mass, coupled with improvements in his presentation and posing, that ultimately gave him the edge. Arnold won the title, ending Oliva's reign as Mr. Olympia and ushering in his own dominant era in bodybuilding. The rivalry between Oliva and Schwarzenegger had a profound impact on bodybuilding, raising the profile of the sport and capturing the public's imagination. The intense competition between these two giants pushed both athletes to push their limits and raise the standard of excellence in bodybuilding. Sergio Oliva was known for his size, symmetry, and a muscular definition that was far ahead of its time. His ability to display a physique that was both bulky and aesthetically pleasing won him admirers around the world and set new standards in bodybuilding. His training was known to be extremely rigorous, with a strong focus on volume and intensity, which contributed significantly to his success on the stage. On Mondays, Sergio began by working his chest with bench presses, dips, and flies, and also worked his back with chin-ups. Tuesdays were dedicated to shoulder, biceps, and triceps training. Most of the exercises followed a pattern of 5 sets of 5 reps. Sergio began with military presses, performing 5 sets of 15 reps with 90 kilograms. He continued with heavy curls with extension, using the same weight and scheme. Then he performed skull crushers and barbell Scott curls, both with 5 sets, although the reps for the Scott curl were 10, and the weight used was 68 kilograms. Wednesday focused on abs, heavy squats, and calves, without including direct work for the hamstrings. Thursday was the second day dedicated to chest and back, also including work for the shoulders. Friday was a heavy day of arm and back training. For the shoulders, he repeated the military press, doing 3 sets of 5 reps with 90 kilograms. I continued with heavy curls with extension and skull crushers, with the same scheme. Saturday was another day of abdominal and leg work, with lighter squats and the addition of front squats. It wasn't until 1984 that he returned to Mr. Olympia after a long hiatus at the age of 43, displaying an impressive physique for his age. Although he didn't win, his participation was seen as a testament to his longevity and the impact he had on bodybuilding. Wasn't that a training madness? That was the reason for his success. The truth is that after retiring from competitions, Oliva continued to work in the Chicago area as a police officer, a job he held for many years. Although his life was quieter in his later years, Oliva's legacy in bodybuilding remains profound. Sergio Oliva passed away on November 12, 2002 at the age of 71, allegedly due to kidney failure in the city of Chicago. Sergio Oliva's training is not only notable for its intensity, but for the dedication and discipline that led him to become a bodybuilding legend. Do you think that these types of extreme routines still have a place in modern bodybuilding, or do you prefer more balanced approaches? If you like this content, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel for more epic stories and workouts. Hit the bell to never miss a video.